Most founders don't need more tools. They need to stop doing the work they should have delegated years ago.
Philippines is old news. They became so good at it that now they're becoming a little bit lazy.
Can you give us some signals when is actually the right time to look out for an assistant?
The time when you start or you should start looking for a VA or an EA is the moment you feel the need to research about virtual assistants, executive assistants.
I'm joined by Biljana Dimitrievska, founder of SkillSpotterZ and former senior executive assistant to a CEO.
Don't come and tell me, oh, I can build, I don't know, $1 billion industry with AI in recruitment, because you can't.
Most founders don't need more tools. They need to stop doing the work they should have delegated years ago. Because right now, something dangerous is happening. Companies are automating faster, hiring faster, applying everything faster. But somehow, hiring quality is getting worse. Founders are more overwhelmed, and teams are becoming less effective. In today's episode, we're unpacking why that is happening, and I'm joined by Biljana Dimitrievska, founder of SkillSpotterZ and former senior executive assistant to a CEO, and someone who has seen both sides. What founders actually struggle with behind the scenes, and what happens when they finally get the right operational support. Biljana, welcome to Leaders of Growth podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Would you like to quickly introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. I'm Biljana. I built SkillSpotterZ in order to help global talent access global opportunities. The reason why I say global is because after COVID, everything became remote,
Yeah.
and why actually really global from Europe, Asia, and Africa is because we really need to tap into the skilled market and just forget about borders. Let's hire what we can. Let's hire the best skills from wherever we can, and let's help those people find jobs. So that's the whole reason of who am I today. I'm actually trying to build something that will help people from lower economy countries get to real opportunities and opportunities that pay well without the need of any limitations.
Yeah, that's great. So let's start with this. Why are so many founders still struggling to delegate properly?
Delegation is everybody's problem, not just founders' problem. But why would a founder have struggling to delegate? I'm going to start with me. I'm a founder and I do struggle to delegate until I reached to a point where I started being forced to prioritize. And when did I start to prioritize? When families started pushing and when virtual assistants started pushing. So basically, when I hired my first VA, and it doesn't matter if it's a VA, you can hire an executive assistant too, from locally or globally, and then you're gonna start to feeling that push that you need to prioritize and delegate. One problem that I see founders make when they try to delegate, they confuse themselves of wanting to do everything and wanting to control everything. As soon as you want to control each department, each task that's going on through the day of your team or of yourself, you're gonna struggle. So the biggest mistake of delegation and why you struggle like a founder to delegate is communication with your team, is trust, and is letting go of things.
Yeah, that's really great answer, and we will get deeper into that. But first, can you tell us a bit, like from the beginning, why did you actually decided to build SkillSpotterZ?
There was a moment where I realized that talent is really everywhere, and because I was born and raised in Macedonia, then I moved to the US. I really saw the opportunity where talent gets missed, and a lot of companies in the US, UK, are struggling to find skilled talent. Also, the cost is one of the reason why I saw this opportunity. So if there is a cost mismatch and skill mismatch, I wanted to pull that together. So basically, if uh, I saw the need in US and UK. People were, I mean, companies were understaffed and they were all over the place struggling to find relevant support. That gap, I saw it. I saw the talent from my country, from, let's just not say it's Macedonia, let's say Serbia, let's say Africa, let's say India, Philippines. Talented people were overlooked, and businesses needed to see that trustworthiness in those countries. So that's why I built SkillSpotters, and that's why I have so much passion in building this.
Yeah, so actually you said that US, UK are in a need for more talented people, and there are a lot of talents in our region, Philippines also, which is actually like not seen by these big countries who need that talent. So your idea is to connect with the dots, like companies from there and talent from here.
Correct. Yes, it's essentially getting missed because it's hard to work remotely. And just imagine to work across the country,
Yeah.
across any other country. So putting those dots together, as you said very well, it's my mission, and it should be actually everybody's mission right now because I think the world is going global, no matter what's
Yeah,
happening right now.
exactly. And what was like the most hardest thing for you, which you maybe you didn't expect it in this whole mission which you have?
Oh, the trust. I didn't expect that it's going to be so hard to build trust.
Trust
So
between who?
I'm right now drained in front of two target audiences,
Hmm.
companies, and then worldwide people,
Yeah.
talented people who just don't trust enough companies, and vice versa.
Hmm.
Companies don't trust other people who live so far from them, who have different culture, different language. So the hardest part for me in building all of this was coming to realize that trust has to be built on knowledge. So we have to first start educating people before we start building. So that was the only part that I have missed at the beginning, that we have to build trust through learning and educating people, companies, and then the talented people from other countries.
Yeah, but it seems like two battles in one time, educating the talent and educating the companies so they have more introduction between themselves. And then I think that the trust comes once you start working together, not it's a bit hard to actually see that before.
Yes, true. Once you start making the mistakes, then you get to know what you're missing out or what you have to build. So, yes, as soon as I started working and then as soon as I started seeing what each side is missing, then I started realizing what needs to get better
Yeah,
and
yeah,
trust.
yeah. To the topic which we opened at the very beginning. So, before SkillSpotters, you worked as a senior executive assistant by yourself. How this actually happened? Have you planned working as executive assistant or?
No, actually, I wanted to be in the HR field. I wanted to be an assistant. I wanted to start as an assistant.
Mhm.
Um, so essentially, I got hired for this great company that is now shut down. During COVID, it shut down, but it worked so many years before. And I got to know a CEO, a founder who was building an empire right there for real estate. And as soon as I got introduced to him, I said I want to work for this man. I want to work for this company, no matter what my position is.
Mm.
So essentially, he saw that passion in me, and he hired me as an executive assistant. Then I became a senior executive assistant, his right hand. But unfortunately, I wasn't doing only that. I was doing HR as well. So I was wearing many hats. And if I'm being honest, executive assistant is actually that. That person is wearing many hats. So I didn't plan to be an executive assistant, to be a right hand to the company and to the CEO, but it was the best thing that happened to me.
Can you tell us a bit more about that experience? How exactly these type of founders operate behind the scenes? What they do? how they think about what they, how they behave, who they hang out with.
Wow, that's very interesting because right now, thinking about it, I feel so proud that I was able to see into the founder's life, because
Mhm,
essentially I was looking at his personal life, at his professional life, at his struggles, at his learning path, at his books. So I was
mhm,
watching it all, and I realized that people don't know that there is so much pressure around founders. So the founders is essentially doing way too many things and decision making, that you have to protect his uh,
time.
emotional awareness. So you have to be around him. So you asked an interesting question, and I have so many things to tell you about, but I'm gonna cut it short. Um, Founder's life is actually his personal, professional, and everything else. So, from my perspective, I was able to see so much pressure, so much struggle, so many work hours. It's not 9 to 5. It's not like he is the boss and he's not working. He was working more than me. He was working more than everybody else, more than the sales team. And the sales team is usually the one who's working very hard. This person was working from, he was getting up at 5 a.m. So just imagine getting up and working your all day, but he was working smart. The way he was working was he was going to the gym, he was doing a diet, he was having family time,
Mhm.
everything in block based. So what I want to say right now is if you're a founder, you have to have blocks, and those blocks are essentially protecting your time. When is your time of the month where you are going to visit your family? When is the time of the day when you're going to be at the gym? You have to have specific blocks. So that's actually the whole pressure around building your time is very hard, and not a lot of people see that.
Yeah, that's really great. Like having blocks for family, blocks for gym, and for like the most productive work, which you can, the big, where you're actually creating the biggest value for the company. But you said that he was working almost whole day. So, and I suppose he felt like overwhelmed at that time. Uh, can you give us some signals when is actually the right time to look out for an assistant, and what are the first things which you have to actually delegate to that person? Because you mentioned that trust is really important, and when you hire a new person, that trust is still low.
Exactly. So the time when you start, or you should start looking for a VA or an EA, is the moment you feel the need to research about virtual assistants, executive assistant.
Mm.
The moment you start researching that is your sign that something is pressuring you. You need to delegate tasks from your plate. And the moment you stop growing, and I mean, not that your sales team is not working out or something else, or a strategy is failing you, but the moment your growth stops, if you're not learning anything, if you're not making new mistakes, if you're not learning a new tool, if you're not talking to your department how you should scale this or that, that's the moment when you start looking for a VA. You need to delegate whatever is putting a pressure on you, whatever is boring to you. So of course it's going to be inbox management, the first thing you're going to delegate.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody emailing you on Friday 5 p.m. asking you to hang out, or texting you to hang out when you have this weekend plan for podcast, things around it. So you need a VA who will put blocks on the calendar, and she will be responsible for your responses. So essentially, you want to teach the VA to respond on your behalf,
Mm.
take screenshots on your behalf. So everything that comes into your space, she will be handling. Are you available for this podcast? Take it with my VA. Are you available for playing soccer on Saturday? Take it with my VA. So if you want to protect your time, if you want to scale your company fast, it's the right time where when you're gonna know to
Have to.
hire the VA.
And you mentioned that the first thing is like managing the inbox properly. How actually? that works? How founders are giving access to personal things to someone they don't know yet, like a lot, and still don't trust to that person. It's different like if you have someone who is besides you for a longer time and then it becomes your assistant, but it's different when you look out for an assistant for first time.
Right. And I feel your question. I know a lot of people are scared here, but how do I do this? How do I give all of my trust to this person who is maybe across the world, no matter where it is? It's essentially you finding the person who you can build a relationship with. And when I say relationship, in the interview, you have to feel the emotion and the passion that this VA has. You have to be both, not equally, but this VA has to follow your passion. She has to be curious about things that you're doing, she or he, uh, it doesn't matter. She has to be curious about the things you're doing. So essentially when she is curious about the things you do as a founder, she will give you trust. She will want to learn from you. The virtual assistant will always want to put the good food right in front so you can scale, because if you don't scale and she makes mistakes on your behalf, she's not going to earn any money. And imagine hiring somebody from Philippines, from Macedonia, from Serbia. They don't have jobs like this. They cannot find a job right away. These people are building
They have
and betting, yes, betting everything on you. So they're going to be trustworthy. They're going to ask you everything. There's people from Philippines that will ask you, do you like this color? Can I color this Excel spreadsheet with this color? Like, imagine going through the details with your VA about that. So, trust is where you actually have to, through skill assessment, through communication. So, even if you hire me, let's say I want to be your executive assistant, virtual assistant, it's not that I am experienced that will build the trust between us. It's the way you want to communicate with me, the way you want to handle your work. So if I find my balance and my energy aligned with you, trust is going to build. So don't you ever worry about somebody who will get into your inbox, travel arrangement, your wife's birth date, or anything like that. Trust is built, especially when you work with people who are from low economy countries. They want you to, they're gonna do everything so you can trust them because they don't have jobs there.
Yeah. So one thing which like stayed to me from this is that they have to like commit to you because they can't find like a job so quickly after that. And the second
Yeah.
thing is they should like adapt their life balance to your needs as a founder. So if it fits to them, but again, I think you have to share your vision to them so they connect with your vision also, and again attach to that and commit even more.
That's correct. And the best way, you're not going to even feel it that you're sharing your vision and mission with the VA. You're not going to feel the pressure that you need to share everything you about yourself. Working with the VA every day, having a catch up call, meeting with her, doing her entering your to do list is what actually is gonna get her to in your life. So she's gonna be in sync with everything you do, everything you think, how you respond, how you behave. She's gonna essentially have all of those traits like her traits.
Yeah,
So
that's really interesting.
that's why yeah, full-time virtual assistant is very different than part-time or task-based
Yeah,
virtual
yeah,
assistant. It's very different. So if you're a very busy founder, full-time virtual assistant doing everything that you do in your personal life and your professional life is the way to go.
and what usually like founders, what mistakes they do when hiring their first VA or EA?
They hurry, they hire it fast without thinking about the right questions, without KPIs, numbers. What do I want this person to achieve? Without having a process. If you say to me, I need a VA like tomorrow, my first question is going to be, okay, Milan, but what's the process? Do you have what to delegate? Like what's the SOP? Do you have a document or a Loom video where you do CRM cleanup, for example? You need to have that set up so you can give it to the person. And don't worry if you don't have it, because once you hire the right VA, she's gonna do the setup. She's gonna do the proper Loom video where you're gonna do specific task and she's gonna watch you. She's gonna take notes. She will do the SOP. But first of all, the mistake is when you don't have anything and you don't know what to do. So if you don't know what to do, she's not gonna do well.
Yeah. So first, do your homework. Make a list
Exactly.
exactly is bothering you, what is boring to you, and then like create like a to-do list which you want to delegate, and then look for that person.
Exactly. And do whatever moves the needle. You are not supposed to do any boring stuff. You're not supposed to do
Yeah.
anything repetitive. Everything repetitive goes to the left to do list. And you're going to have one main to do list, and the VA is going to have
Mm.
her to do list.
Yeah, yeah. And can you like extract maybe two, three things? What makes the difference between what separates a good assistant with a great one, or someone who becomes a real extension to the founder?
The greatest assistant will want to learn everything you do. So basically, before you learn a new tool, new AI tool, the VA is gonna learn it. So essentially, that's the greatest VA. So if a person who has a passion, a person who is persistent, a person who's curious, it's what separates a good from bad or good from average VA.
If that's the case, what holds these people to actually be a founders?
It's hard work. I mean, it's too much pressure, too many investors, too much urgency. People are scared. I don't know. You can be a founder, but you can be a founder of nothing, a $0 business industry. So I think that's stopping people because too much competition.
Yeah,
Too
yeah.
very.
If you made it this far, I really appreciate you being here. But let me tell you something real quick. Most B2B SaaS teams don't lose traffic overnight. They lose it slowly, quietly, until it shows up in the pipeline. And by then, it's already expensive to fix it. So if you're facing with a traffic drop and you want to understand where that risk is coming from before it hits your revenue, we've put together a practical guide. It's 4-in-1 traffic drop prevention checklist. It shows you where to look up first, what signals most B2B SaaS teams ignore, and how to spot the gaps between SEO, content, and ownership. You can find the link in the description.
And I know that you've seen like a lot of founders with assistants relationship. What are the main things which actually breaks these relationships?
Communication. Communication is one key that makes and breaks. So if you have any employee, it doesn't matter if it's a VA or EA, if you don't have communication, it's not gonna work. It's gonna build everything slowly and then go downhill very fast. If you don't communicate, that comes from trust issue. If you don't communicate, that comes from process issue. If you don't communicate, that comes from money issues. So if you don't want to pay somebody, you're not going to communicate it. So it's like that. Communication is everything. You know, you have to be able to communicate. Every great leader has to be good in communication. So if you want to communicate how the task is done, go ahead and communicate.
Yeah.
If you want to give a compliment, you have to
Good.
communicate it well, and you have to know actually that culture is a thing. You're hiring people from some other culture, so you have to know when is their holiday. So communication on holidays,
Yeah.
communication on building trust, communication on what DA or what this VA works, what's the setup they have. It's all about you knowing and communicating it with the VA.
Yeah, that's really great point. Before moving forward, if anyone is watching this and we got your attention with the VAs and EAs, let's leave a comment. What are the most common tasks which you think you can delegate first to that people? Maybe there will be someone on SkillSpotters who can actually help you with that. So
Definitely leave a comment.
yeah. Right now, everyone is talking about AI replacing jobs and the automation with the recruitment. But I think your whole positioning is mostly human centered. So, why are you betting against the trend?
Oh, I'm not betting against the trend. I'm welcoming the trend. But in recruiting, you have to know one thing: everything has to be deeply human. If the ground base is not deeply human, if it's not based on what humans do, you cannot build AI on top of it.
Mhm.
So don't come and tell me, oh, I can build, I don't know, $1 billion industry with AI in recruitment, because you can't. You need to do a lot of testing. You have to do in the human centric first and then be AI. But AI is essentially a good extension for recruitment, not a bad, but everything must be human, because if the hiring manager doesn't know how to do his hiring part,
Mhm.
how you going to teach AI to do that? Because first of all, to teach AI we need humans, so we need the experts to teach AI.
Yeah.
So I'm inviting all of the experts to first teach AI in recruiting and then start building tools around it.
Yeah, that's nice point. So, but what I think a lot of companies are getting wrong about is, so are they started to using AI without the proper teaching, or what actually is happening when within the recruitment process?
There's all sorts of kind of people, so you cannot forbid anybody from using AI. So there's
Yeah.
recruitment tools out there, and I cannot say all of them are bad, but I cannot confirm that all of them are doing their job. Recruitment is based on emotional intelligence.
Mm.
So imagine you giving everything emotional to the AI, everything comes back non-emotional,
Yeah.
comes artificial. So right now there are great tools. I don't want to be the bad person right here who
Yeah.
say there's no good tools, but there's nothing that will solve a specific problem in recruitment. I don't know about other industries, but in recruitment, there's nothing that I can say, oh, go use this and it will solve your hiring problems. Because hiring problems come from the company, come from the hiring manager, not from the tool you're using. So even if you come on SkillSpotters and if you try to search for your best VA, best remote talent, if you don't know how that is done, if you don't know what skills you're looking, how to connect and communicate to that person, what questions to ask, and if you don't work on your
Yeah.
cognitive ability, your skill assessment, there's no AI tool that will fix that.
Yeah, maybe you can do some filtering before the interviews, but when the interview happened, you actually have to connect with that person on a personal level to actually see their communication skills, the other skills, how they think, and then
Exactly.
decide who to proceed with.
Yes, you can research with AI how to come to an interview, how to get better at interviews. But there's one part that we're missing. Oh, if we're not good at that thing, we don't know what questions to ask. So
Yeah,
how is gonna AI teach us if we don't know what to ask?
exactly.
So again, it goes to the ground base. We need to teach AI what's the ground rule for recruitment.
Yeah,
And right now that is not done.
yeah. And when we are to at this topic, how much harder it becomes for companies to identify actually the truly good talent on the market.
With AI, with now everything that is happening.
Yeah, yeah, right now, because we do a lot of research. There is like LinkedIn tools for recruitment, a lot of other platforms. And for example, when I have a job ad, it could be 100, 200 applicants, but then if I ask for a loom, there will be 5 to 10 maximum. So around 5% are actually following the guidelines. So how actually a companies can truly identify who is a good talent within these first steps, so you're not overwhelmed by a lot of interviews.
Right. First of all, when you're on LinkedIn, those job clicks are just clicks. There doesn't mean they're applications. So that's where the tech is going wrong. They're calculating clicks, applications, everything in one bucket instead of quality applications. So the right now it's very hard to distinguish human from human,
Mm.
because all of the resumes or all the applications are tailored with AI, and we all look alike. Even if I'm like missing any skill, AI will bring the skill into my resume, and I will not see it, or I will not proofread the resume, and I will send it over to you. Now I show up on the interview with a human, with you, for example, but there is one mistake. Right now, all of the questions are going to be based around that skill that I don't have. So automatically, it's a non-qualification. So it's very hard if we are doing AI with AI, like if I am doing my resume with AI and the company is using a tool to distinguish AI from real resumes, it's baking up the process a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's not even close to good right now, because we think we're doing something with tailoring our resume with AI, but we are not actually doing anything, because we are not learning how to communicate and how to
Yeah.
package ourselves. So you're gonna get so many applicants, and they're good. I like this job. But what happens then? They back up. They don't show up on the interview. They don't follow your process or answer the questions you send them, because they feel like they're not quality.
Mm.
So that's why you see that gap. And right now we're in the middle of bringing AI and making it better. So that's why this gap is huge, and we cannot distinguish good from bad just from resumes. Resumes are no longer, especially for global talent, resumes are no longer the mandatory. You have to have a portfolio to show, and a short 2-minute video to show
Yeah.
to a hiring company, so you can stand out.
Yeah, I don't think that the quality is always the main issue why they are not following the process. What I conclude is mostly like laziness. People are like not willing to follow the system so they can properly apply. I think this is the maybe the main issue which I am having with some of the candidates for some positions.
Candidates have been always been lazy. So that's gonna be, AI is not gonna help in that. We're gonna be all lazy. We are applying to hundreds of jobs, or how many of them,
Yeah,
and we're not getting a job. So we are in that state of no job, no money. So
or
we are feeling the pressure. So that's why we're lazy. I mean, I give the point this time to job seekers, because we're tired. I say we, because I'm on that side of talent as well. I interview talent each day. Job seekers, they're tired of everything that is going on, so
yeah.
that's why they're lazy.
What do you think about this? Is it smarter to apply to a lot of jobs without proper application, or just focus on maybe 5 to 10 companies where you actually want to work with and spend more time on that to investigate about that company, to fill the data with a proper qualifications which they are looking for, to record a video for them so they can introduce with you before even get on an interview. So you're I think you will separate from the rest of the candidates which are applying if you just do these few things.
Right. And that's interesting question, because everybody are trying now to apply to hundreds of jobs with AI, with just one resume, one portfolio,
Yeah.
which is okay. You can go that route. You can apply to hundreds of jobs at a time, but the consequence of that is that you're gonna get
Mm.
lost. Like none of them will want to hire you. Good company will not want to hire you, because you didn't tailor anything per their company, per their industry, per the skill they want, per the requirement. You're gonna have buzzwords there.
Yeah.
Good companies don't like buzzwords, so all of those automatic applications that you do are none less worth
Yeah.
than everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
And if you, on contrary, if you take your time to apply to 5 jobs, which are companies you like, maybe you like the benefits in that
Mm.
company, maybe you like the CEO, maybe you like the industry, so you can get to know more the industry and learn and
Yeah.
pivot. So if you spend that time in researching, doing a portfolio, pair those 5 jobs, you're gonna learn actually how to
Mm.
package yourself and how to sell yourself, how to talk to them. And by the time the interview comes, you're gonna nail everything. You're gonna have all of your questions answered in your head. and you're gonna be the best interviewee that will show up that day. So that's why I recommend picking the actual job that you actually want and researching it and doing your part of work.
Yeah, like we discussed for the founders before, you have to find out which are the tasks which you want to delegate. Just do your homework before. I think the same is for everything. If you do your homework properly when you want to apply for certain job or position, you will be definitely different from 99% of the others who also applied with a generic application.
Exactly. I mean, the point of this is it's not the company that is not doing, and
Mm,
people get mad because they don't get rejection notices
mm,
when they are
yeah,
not hired. People get extremely mad about this.
mm,
But listen to this: you don't need a rejection. You just need to move on. Don't be
mm,
emotional. Don't connect to that job or job application
yeah,
emotionally. Rejection is not going to save you. Even with AI right now, rejection are flying so fast because we can do it in a split second. Just write a buzzword and send it out. Is going to make you feel better? I don't think so. So that's why do your part, become the person, the employee that the company needs. The founder and the hiring manager also do their job, and it's even harder than your job. You're just researching and you're going in a company and they will pay you for what you're gonna do, but the founder, who's gonna pay him? So
And based on your experience and with the platform, with the old talent pool, which you know, is there like any regions which are becoming strong for certain roles? I know that Philippines are good VAs, but this is just an information. Is it like really true?
Philippines is old news. Like they became so good at it that now they're becoming a little bit lazy.
Mm,
So right now, what regions are booming is a great question, because the region that is booming in remote and VA work is actually Europe, Eastern Europe, Latin America,
mhm.
in Africa. South Africa is has the best portfolios out of this moment. When I go on my platform, when I see a South African person, I see a great portfolio, I see great questions, I see great email address, I see a lot of skills, I see a lot of willingness to do the hard work. So those regions, per my opinion, and what I see on my platform, are booming right now.
Do you maybe notice some pattern why this is happening with South Africa? Or
They're becoming better. They have better in structure, so infrastructure.
mm,
Um, so they were backed up because nobody was investing in them. There was no payment systems around it. Right now, they're over it. So they're English. They're their main language. They know French.
mm,
They know a lot of skills. So because e-commerce right now is booming, that's why South Africa is great, because they know many languages.
mm,
They can work for cheaper cost, and e-commerce can scale fast.
yeah.
That's one example.
And what about our regions here? Is Macedonia or Serbia, or you mentioned Eastern Europe? Is there like any certain roles which are stronger for our country or for these regions?
Yeah. Technical roles, I would say Serbia, Macedonia, Ukraine,
Mm,
Romania, those are for booming right now for engineering, technical IT roles. Also
mhm.
customer support, because a lot of people are close to the culture, American culture.
Yeah,
Um, we are Americanized in Macedonia. We take everything from European Union, and European Union is essentially by the rules of United States. So we're close to the culture. That's why they like us. We know how to build rapport. We know how to do small talk. Not everybody, but yes, yeah. So Macedonia, Serbia, Romania, great for IT roles, software engineering, data analyst. We're good with numbers.
yeah, that's cool. And one more question around this topic: why US and UK are hiring internationally? Is it mostly like the cost or something else?
First is the cost, of course, but then it comes with the benefits. the culture knowing, the different skill knowledge, and the market. You can tap into a whole different market. You can build your headquarters in a different country, pay less taxes. So it's
Mm.
yes, it's about the cost, but also it's about the skills these people have from other countries. They can build a business while you're in the US. They can build your business in Serbia, in Macedonia. They can, if you're e-commerce especially, they can sell your product to different target of customers. So it's benefits, cost, time zone. They can work 24/7. Like your company don't has to be closed. You can have online support in the night hours. So I think that's the biggest reason.
Yeah, that's cool. We're moving to the end of this podcast, so I have a few more questions, which I really value what you will share about this. Uh, Within your experience working closely with founders, like what's the difference between founders who scale and founders who stay stuck?
Um, Founders who stay stuck are usually the founders who stay into the same emotional growth from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So if you experience all the emotions that you were experiencing as when you started, that means you're not growing. You're stuck in one phase. And when you don't delegate, when you don't find smarter people than you to bring on your team, that means you're stuck and you will eventually stay stuck there forever because nobody is going to come and save you, save your budget, save your team, save your sales
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
You have to hire the more smarter people than you. So that's the difference between the founders who scale and founders who stuck. They just don't want to move on. They stay in one emotional growth phase and they get stuck to the little details. Oh, but my mission was this yesterday. Forget about it. Your mission can change tomorrow because technology changes. So just work on getting the people who know how to do
yeah.
the work.
Yeah, that's really true. And you mentioned growth. So, what actually growth means for you personally?
For me personally, at this moment, maybe tomorrow this will change. For me personally, growth today means if I'm not growing on personal level, I don't need the professional level. Because professional level for me is only money. And if tomorrow I have money, but I didn't build everything I wanted from my personal growth, that's not success to me. So, as long as I'm good on personal level, if I'm growing, learning, learning with my family, spending time with my family, that's considered growth with me.
Yeah,
So if my job, if my business is not letting me grow on personal level, I'm willing to stop. So that's growth for me, actually.
yeah. And one thing for ending this episode, but after that, if you maybe want to add something which we missed, just feel free to share. Like, what's the one thing you wish more founders understood before hiring a VA?
Uh, the one thing that I will advise them to understand is to better understand themselves before hiring any VA or any executive assistant. Understand first yourself, your workflow, what you like, what you don't like, what makes you angry, what do you like doing at the mornings, what do you like doing at nights. And when you have that on paper clean, picture clean, write it down, that's when you have a strategy to hire anybody.
Yeah, yeah, that's really great. Do you maybe think that we missed something which you want to add at the very end?
Well, I would just like to say to all of the founders, CEOs, whoever it is out there, just trust the process. You have to trust that somebody else can bring more knowledge to your plate, to your day. So if you're skeptic about hiring a virtual assistant, don't be, because imagine
Mm.
how many things they know from the previous founder, from the previous company. So just imagine that all knowledge that you can absorb and meet with that VA daily so you can get to know that person and how she wants to operate the business if she was on your place, because that's very
Yeah,
important to
yeah,
get the perspective. And if you get a good VA, there's good VAs out there. I mean, I already have few on my mind. that are great VAs that I have learned something from them, and I never thought that I will learn that. And also, I would say don't go too crazy on automating your hiring process, because nothing, if you don't have a clear process for it, you cannot automate anything. So just don't stress about AI and automation in your hiring process. Just be more human, feel that person, know what questions to ask,
Yeah.
have ability to understand cognition and emotional hiring, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, that's really great. Biljana, this was like a really valuable conversation, especially for me, because I'm currently investigating that field. And I leave a link to SkillSpotters on in the description. So if anyone is like looking for hiring a talent, you can find it there. About this conversation, what actually stood out to me is that you don't have just to hire fast VAs. You just need to do your homework, because it's not something like an outsourcing task you see. You have to build the trust, the clarity, the operational support around the founder, and then think about the hiring. And it's not like about doing less, but about creating maybe space to focus on the things which you actually like need to do more, which actually drives the business. So for everyone listening, if you're like a founder still doing a lot, maybe you have to think about what's the first few things which you have to delegate. So
Exactly. What are the first things you don't like doing?
yeah, yeah. Put that in the comments. Like this podcast, subscribe to it so you never miss any episode. Until next time, keep leading, keep scaling, and keep growing. See ya.
Alright, so that's it for today. And if this episode got you thinking about your growth and how it works behind the scenes, here are 2 things you should do next. First, subscribe to this channel and like this video, because on Leaders of Growth podcast, we don't chase just tactics. We break down what actually drives sustainable pipeline and revenue for modern B2B SaaS company. Second, if you're serious about understanding your own situation, you can book an AI and SEO growth call. This is not a sales pitch. It's a working session where we look at where your organic growth really stands, what's limiting your pipeline today, and what needs to change if you want predictable results. Because whether you're a CEO who tries to protect their revenue or a CMO who tries to protect the pipeline, guessing is the most expensive option. The link is down below, and thank you for watching. See you into the next episode.